Welcome to Strung Out, the podcast that looks at life through the lens of an artist. Your host is the artist, writer, and musician, Martin Laurence McCormack. Now here's Marty.
Hey everybody, great to have you with us, and I am recording this because we just had a Switchback gig, and Brian's actually here at my house, but it's late and he's tired, and we have to be on the road by 6:30 to get out to rehearse for this, the release party of Red or Blue. And I'm holding in my hands an LP, and it's very crazy. It is the first LP that we ever had a Switchback, and it's also the first time I've ever been on an LP. Brian's been on an LP. He was in the Chicago Irish Musicians album. But as far as I can recollect, I have not made it onto an LP until now. So what is it about LPs? I think that now they have a little bit of a more nostalgic flavor. A lot of people believe that long play audibly is superior to anything else that we have out there. Could very well be the case. If you grew up with it, if you grew up with the ritual of putting on an album and listening and looking at the lyrics and everything else while you were listening to the album, it was a much cooler way of digesting and enjoying music, I think, than what came later. You know, the cassettes and the CDs. CDs just didn't quite have the same excitement presentation-wise as an LP. And that's why I think you see a return to it. Suffice it to say, a lot of people don't have phonographs anymore. But those that do, they collect vinyl. And thankfully, thank God, there's still some really, really good vinyl stores out in Chicago for starters, but around the country. So those of you that want a little piece of history, this is the first album made by Switchback, Red or Blue, that came out as vinyl. And it is also, surprisingly, the 15th, 16th album that we have. It only took us 16 albums to get a vinyl album. Whether we'll make more, I don't know. Depends on how this all goes. We came up with a very small number of albums because I was a little leery about carrying around such weight. And vinyl, of course, is very precarious in the sense that it can break, it can warp, it can melt, you know, you name it. But this is the third part of talking about the album notes on this, and I just thought I would finish things out, and then hopefully maybe Brian and I can do a podcast from Iowa where Brian can talk a little bit about it. Since we are a partnership, it's kind of more fun to hear the other guy talk sometimes. But let's get to work. The first song I want to play for you is called Good Trouble. And this was a Brian inspired song. He listened to John Lewis, and John Lewis passed away a couple years ago. And I believe it was during his funeral that Brian heard a lot of the stories about this great civil rights leader, this great member of Congress, John Lewis, that really it was kind of a shock when he did pass away. He had cancer, I believe. But it was an end of an era to some degree. I mean, he was right there along with Dr. King taking the blows when they were crossing the bridge, the Pettus Bridge in Selma. And he was a very positive person. But one of the things he talked about was good trouble, making good trouble. In other words, civil disobedience. And we had a wonderful African-American actor, Robert Cornelius, do some of the speeches, lines from various speeches that Lewis made. And that gave it that kind of feeling of history and feeling of urgency as well. And if you listen to the message of these lyrics, it's important. We're exhorting the next generation to pick up the fight, continue along with the battle that is fighting for our Constitution, fighting for our democracy. So let's listen to Good Trouble, and then we'll have a short break.
Never ever be afraid to make some noise and get in good trouble. Necessary trouble.
We all move heaven and earth. Heaven and earth.
When you see something that is not right, you have to say something.
Young people. Young people. It's not enough to know you're right, to darkness be light. I'm passing down the torch tonight. Torch tonight.
Freedom is not a state, it is an act.
Keep marching, keep marching, keep marching. Hate comes out to play, lynchings by the light of day. Let's not lose our way. Let them know you're here to stay. Here to stay. Infinite worth, mischief and mirth. marching, keep marching, keep marching, keep marching, keep marching.
Hey, want to show your support of Martin's artist endeavors? Buy Me a Coffee is an online site that makes supporting Marty easy. In just a few taps, you can make a payment of any amount, and no account is needed. You can also decide to become an ongoing supporter. Go to martinmccormack.com and click on the words Support Martin. Let's help Martin keep it all caffeinated.
All right, we're back. And the next song that I think would be good to play is, let's see, Leticia. And Leticia's just a fun song. And I'm not going to go too much into it, but I just think it's kind of a fun song for us to play. And Leticia is a great opportunity to hear Brian doing some of that signature Brian Fitzgerald guitar playing. Some wonderful horn arrangements by Paul Mertens on this. And it really carries that great energy with it. Let's just go right to it and enjoy it. Okay, here we are, Leticia.
1, 2, 3. The older I get, I'll never forget my first cigarette and a t-shirt. She was older, bolder. There were things big sister should not have told her. As a boy can be. Now I see we were satisfied. Leticia's curiosity. She came near me, stared at me. Life had not prepared me for Leticia. It was late that night in the graveyard where we she led me by the hand. The moon came out as the clouds rolled over. Suddenly she sprang ahead, pulled me down in the midnight clover. came next was her cold shoulder.
Hello, I'm Polly Chase, here with artwork by Martin McCormack. This is titled Dream. It's an 8x10 pen and ink drawing. Be lovely in an office or child's room, anywhere you need inspiration to let go and see where your dreams can take you. To inquire about pricing and to view other pieces of Marty's artwork, go to martinmccormack.com. Thank you.
Alrighty, last but not least, album notes is the song Camouflage. With Camouflage, this is the first co-write that Brian and I did post-pandemic. Worked on these songs at various places, but Brian came into town. It was the first time I saw Brian in 2 years. Crazy to think about that, right? But that was how it was. And we wanted to talk about that feeling of the pandemic, how weird it was to have this kind of break in everyone's life, where you were doing things like baking bread or whatever, but the idea that everybody kind of became a recluse. And at least that's the way you can look at this song. But other people have drawn different conclusions to it too, which is kind of fun. And, you know, one of the things that Brian and I go round and round about is, do you tell somebody exactly what a song is about? Or do you just let the lyrics speak for themselves? Or do you let the person listening come up with an idea of what that song is? All those things are legitimate, but real powerful, real magical songs, really well written and well crafted songs, are songs that people will take and associate with a moment in their life, or an idea of what inspired them to love that song. And again, it's usually a moment, meeting someone or being somewhere or some sort of experience. And that's the magic of music, is we can all relate to that. And sometimes songs become anthematic because of that, right? So, but let's listen to Camouflage, and in pure Switchback fashion. There's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek and all this stuff. There's a lot of fun. We had fun with these lyrics, and I hope you listening to it will enjoy it. Camouflage. So before we go to it, what I would like to do is just remind everybody that this is August, the month of the release of the album, and we're going to be playing various places in the Midwest. And then once the dust settles on August, we'll have to decide whether we continue along with a second phase of a release party or not. It doesn't matter really. But we are offering these shows now. And if you go to waygoodmusic.com, to our website, you'll be able to see which one, hopefully, is closest for you to geographically get to. Probably the easiest one to travel from by plane will be Chicago's at Fitzgerald's in Berwyn, Illinois. August 24th. And that's kind of the big national release. I would sure love for everybody to go and check it out. So I'm going to sign off before we play Camouflage and just say thank you for listening. Thank you for putting up with me talking, not only fatigued, but in the previous podcast, fighting a cold and that. And I'm happy to announce that I got some great interviews in with John Langford and Liz Carroll, and I'm going after some other artists. So there's going to be a lot of editing on my part over the next couple of days to get those podcasts into the pot so you guys can enjoy them coming down the pike. And again, thank you, and we'll see you soon. Let's listen to Camouflage.
Taking a long look, the latest edition of a rare book, a new revelation. Feels like it never did before. I'm ready to tempt fate, a sweet computation on a hot date, a known destination. Never did before. Camouflage, taking off my camouflage. I made it out of the house. I'm in the garage. That I lived in. At first I kinda liked it. Feels like it never did before. But even a recluse, a Robinson Crusoe needs to cut loose and break the news to Friday. Feels like it never did before. Taking off my camouflage. I just wanna be me. I'm not a mirage. Taking the first step off the reservation. It's a new world, pure exhilaration. Feels like it never did before. Feels like it never did before. Feels like it never did before.
Thank you for listening. For more information about this show or a transcript, visit martinmccormack.com. While there, sign up for our newsletter. See you next time on Strung Out.
It's all so wrong, this pain we feel makes no sense at all. A swan song wasn't part of the deal.